making a little Narutotai Ginjo Nama Genshu. This is a delicious unpasteurized sake. I like sake a lot. Well, I've been cooking now for about 20 years, so I got started in cooking professionally right before my senior year of college. I mean, I've been working in kitchens since I was a little kid, since I was 11, but it was the summer before my senior year of college that I discovered that this was something I really liked to do and wanted to try actively pursuing. So once college was over, I went to cooking school and I began working in restaurants. And here we are, 20 years later. He'll never be the same of what's there. Chang's right, my cooking's gone to the toilet ever since I had a child. I don't agree with him. I don't think that having a child is somehow cuts off your creative artery or something like that. I think, in fact, family can be a great source of inspiration, and having a child can reinvigorate you. I think initially it makes you exhausted, but once you get past that exhaustion and you can recharge the battery, I think it can be a great source of inspiration. I enjoy spending time with my family a lot. My daughter's not at an age yet where we do a lot of cooking together, but we're beginning to do that, and that's a lot of fun, and teaching her what I know. My wife has always been someone I've enjoyed cooking for and hearing input from. I mean, she's certainly one of my biggest fans, but also one of my biggest, most honest critics. The same way my father is or my mother is. I think family is a good, honest sounding board. So I think that I don't see family as the obstacle maybe that Dave sees it as. But you know, to each his own. We'll see what happens to him when he has some. We'll see if his best years are behind him by the time he settles down. I enjoy fish cookery a lot. I think it's challenging in a different way than meat cookery. I think that obviously all facets, all sides, all aspects of cooking interest me. I think it probably started a long time ago when my father said to me that, you know, cooking fish is harder than cooking meat. So I told myself, well, then I better learn how to cook, make sure I spend a lot of time learning how to cook fish. And I don't actually think that cooking fish is harder than cooking meat. That was his opinion. I think that they're both different, challenging in different ways and different reasons. I think in some ways there's less room for error in cooking fish. Meat cookery has its own challenges, but you have a smaller window to sort of right the ship if things go wrong in fish cookery. And I guess something I've gravitated towards, and I had to pick one side of the line to stay on, and so I stuck with fish, and it's been that way for, like I said, 9 years now, and I'm happy over there, and hopefully I'm able to pass along some things I've learned over the years about cooking fish. Alex's new place has been exciting. I guess I haven't been to Parm yet. I'd love to go see what those guys are up to. They do great stuff. Francis Derby, another guy that worked for me down in King, near New York. I'd love to go see what Sean Brock is doing down in Husk. I think that sounds like a really cool place. There are a lot of restaurants I'd like to go to that I haven't been to. I'm not maybe as current as what's opening nationwide as maybe I should be, but you know, there's always something fun happening in New York, so that's a good thing. I think we're always moving forward. I would go to have brunch at my favorite diner with my wife and daughter. I think probably a burger for lunch. A number of places. Shake Shack's not far from our house, that's fun, but I like Fresh and Fast, which is right near Shake Shack actually. I think they do a great burger. It's hard to get the stroller in the front door, but it's still a pretty good burger. And then I think a nap after lunch. I like a good nap, as does my daughter, so that's a good opportunity for at least two of us to take a nap. And then I think going out to dinner with my wife somewhere would be be a nice way to, I don't want to say end it because that would be the end, but that would be our final meal. You know, sambar is sort of our personal favorite for a number of reasons over the years. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of places that we love to go to. That's where we go on our anniversary every year, so it's sort of it has relevance to us. And then maybe heading off to somewhere like PDT for a cocktail, and probably, you know, I think going to bed after that. My family is a great source of inspiration, but my contemporaries, other chefs around the world, I have, you know, people like Andoni and Mugaritz and Heston at the Fat Duck and Renee at Noma, and the list goes on and on. There's many great French chefs: Braque, Garnier, Pascal Barbeau, Alain Bessard. I mean, these are people that are doing amazing things with food that I get inspired by all the time. I'm classically trained as a French chef, so the French have always had a spot in my heart, and I've been a great student of their culture and their cuisine and their contributions, which I think are certainly very important and relevant. I try to read as much as I can to stay inspired, but you can be inspired by the geography, by what's going on around you, by the landscape, the way the light's coming through, the way the light's passing through shapes. I mean, New York City is a great source of inspiration, and our food is very much a reflection of our terroir, our location. I think chefs, any great chef uses his or her terroir to derive inspiration from, and we use our urban setting as the inspiration for our food. Our food is very much a reflection of where we live and where I grew up. From the geometry of New York City to the shadows of New York City to the fact that there's very sharp, severe lines, but at the same time there can be a tree growing up in the sidewalk with very organic shapes, and you see that on our plating, that there's a lot of very clean, sharp things mixed with very organic things. I'll try to say something meaningful.